Goeiedag, good day, fellow South Africans, and don't forget, at 6 a.m. this morning, we're going live to Uppington, and there have been some developments. I can't tell you what they are, but the convoy is going to leave earlier than expected, and we'll talk about the reasons at 6 o'clock this morning. That's when we're going live. We're going live an hour early. Okay, so 6 a.m. this morning, not 7 a.m. this morning. We are going live for our first live coverage, and there's a very, very good reason for that. Now, with what's going on in South Africa, and I'm talking about the murder rate, I'm talking about the rape rate, I'm talking about the lack of control over crime by the South African Police Service, which there is so much evidence of. You would think that they would have more important things to worry about than if a parent smacks a child on his bum at his home. You know that they've already banned the placement of the old flag above your bed, for example, in your family home. If the police catch you with that up, you are a victim, or you are actually perpetrating hate speech in your own home. And now, what they've done is they've brought out a law which says that if you smack your child on the bum because he's been naughty in your home, you are committing a criminal act. This is becoming more and more like a certain regime in the 1930s, and a lot of this persecution is aimed towards the minority groups. It is absolutely ridiculous what's going on. And not helping the situation is the infamous, I'm going to start calling them the infamous, Nelson Mandela Foundation, because they are on a particular journey to try and bring down Afriforum, and in particular Ernst Roets. Why? Let me tell you. The Nelson Mandela Foundation has filed an application to appeal the ruling by the Equality Court in favor of Afriforum's Ernst Roets and his display of the old South African flag. The leave to appeal includes an application for direct access to the Constitutional Court, NMF spokesperson Luzuku Koti said in a statement on Tuesday. She said gratuitous displays of the old flag express a desire for black people to be relegated to labor reserves, a pining for the killing, the torture, the abductions, a melancholia for the discrimination, the death squads, the curfews, and the horrific atrocities committed under the flag. Well, here's a bit of a reality check. You know, the ANC, leading up to the 1994 elections, was one of the worst parties in history when it came to killing opponents. Thousands of Africans were killed in the name of the ANC, getting rid of political opponents. And in that short period of time, more black Africans were killed by the ANC than in the whole history of apartheid under a white regime. We're talking about, obviously, the political aspect. There was something like 600 black people who were actually killed under the apartheid period, which covered a long period of time in comparison to the 4 or 5 years where tens of thousands of blacks were killed by the ANC because they were political opponents. And a lot of that killing was aimed at the IFP, which is the Zulu political party, which kind of just sunk in its heels when all this happened. Anyway, let's just continue with what this guy says. But before we do, earlier the Equality Court, sitting in the Gauteng High Court in Johannesburg, ruled that while Roets might in due course be held to have breached the provisions of the Equality Court Act, he was not in contempt of court. While handing down the judgment, Judge Colin Lamont said, "This is my view. It's precisely why the order does not contain a directive prohibiting the display of the flag there is no order ad factum praestandum. However, the Nelson Mandela Foundation in its application argued that the court failed to consider that contempt of court consists in the commissioning of any act or statement that displays disrespect for the authority of court or in violating the dignity, repute, or authority of the court. It further argued the court did not consider that contempt of court could apply to someone who has been setting the court at defiance and deliberately treating the order of the court as unworthy of notice. The court failed to interpret and apply common law in line with the Constitution, especially Section 1C and Section 165, to afford an appropriate degree of protection to the dignity, accessibility, and effectiveness of the courts. Lastly, the Nelson Mandela Foundation said it had presented prima facie proof that Roets was in contempt of the court. The court should have found that the applicant had presented prima facie proof that the respondents had committed contempt of court, sufficient to find that they had a case to answer, and should consequently have issued a rule nisi to enable that case to be answered appropriately. Last month, Roets tweeted a picture of the apartheid flag hours after the same court had declared the gratuitous display of the flag was hate speech. His tweet caused outrage on the social media platform and prompted the Nelson Mandela Foundation to take him to court for contempt of court. Now, I can think of a lot more important things to take to court. And the South African Human Rights Commission right now, for example, should be taking the ANC government to court for the incompetence that they have in the municipalities and the sewerage that is just flowing through the streets of some townships and right into the river system in South Africa. And on my Loving Life 2019 channel today, I actually had a video associated with this. I mean, it is absolutely disgusting what's going on in South Africa. And here you've got the so-called proponents of the Rainbow Nation, the Nelson Mandela Foundation, attacking its very foundation. They are a disgrace. You know, they are absolutely ripping apart the legacy of Nelson Mandela himself. But history will dictate what happens. I can only say that Ernst, good on you, mate. You're standing up for yourself. And please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video. And above all, stay safe. Bye for now.